The man finished the last cigarette in his hand and, without looking back, walked into a rehabilitation center. The moment he arrived, he was told to shave off the long hair he had always been proud of. "You can leave if you want," the staff told him, "but life will always remain open to you." Everyone in the rehab center had their heads shaved, even the women. It wasn't punishment. It was to prevent patients from hurting themselves during severe withdrawal episodes. There were no prison walls, no electric fences, and no locked gates. Yet not a single patient wanted to leave. The center had a strict ranking system. Every newcomer started at the lowest level and was assigned the hardest, dirtiest jobs. Only those who proved themselves could move up. Break a single rule, and they would be demoted immediately. The first few days were pure agony. Whenever Carl's withdrawal symptoms struck, the pain became almost unbearable. Whenever he felt like giving up, he would take out a photo of his girlfriend and remind himself why he had to keep fighting. Many addicts couldn't survive the suffering and chose to end their own lives, but Carl refused to surrender. He forced himself to run every single day. Years of drug abuse had left his body weak and broken. Before completing even half a lap, he collapsed to the ground, coughing up blood. Even his instructor told him to stop wasting his time and go home. But Carl got back on his feet. Dragging his exhausted body forward, he continued running. When a person has an unshakable purpose, they can unlock strength they never knew they had. Day after day, Carl worked harder. Slowly, his body began adapting. For the sake of his girlfriend and their child, he never stopped training. As time passed, his condition improved dramatically. Because of his outstanding performance, he was promoted to the next level. The director gave him a job at a swimming pool and even allowed him to swim there for free after work. Carl couldn't even swim at first, but through relentless practice, he mastered it. He even traded bottles of mineral water with a homeless man for an old bicycle. From then on, he completely transformed his lifestyle. Every day he ran 5 kilometers, swam 1,000 meters, and cycled 10 kilometers. As his daily routine became healthier, his withdrawal attacks grew weaker and less frequent. Wanting to test himself, Carl signed up for a triathlon. When the organizers learned about his history of drug addiction, they could hardly believe it. Even healthy athletes struggled to finish such an event, let alone someone who had spent 4 years addicted to drugs. But after seeing the determination in Carl's eyes, they reluctantly accepted his application. The race consisted of a 700-meter swim, a 5-kilometer run, and a 20-kilometer cycling course. By the time Carl crossed the finish line, the event staff had already packed up and gone home. Yet he wasn't disappointed. No one had been there to cheer for him, but he had achieved something far greater. He had defeated the person he used to be. Perhaps because of all the mistakes he had made in the past, he believed he had to bear the consequences himself. Then tragedy struck. His girlfriend failed her rehabilitation and was admitted to the intensive care unit. Standing beside her hospital bed, Carl was consumed with regret. He blamed himself for everything that had happened. Before leaving, he gently kissed her forehead, knowing it might be the last time he ever saw her. Outside the hospital room, he saw his little daughter. He wanted nothing more than to speak with her, but his girlfriend's father stopped him. Carl stood there in silence. Deep down, he knew he hadn't yet earned the right to call himself a father. A few days later, the heartbreaking news arrived. His girlfriend had passed away. Devastated, Carl turned his grief into determination. He trained harder than ever before. He won numerous regional championships, shattered the European triathlon record, and eventually received an invitation to compete at the world championship level. Every year on his girlfriend's birthday, he visited her grave. Whenever the pain became too much to bear, he buried himself in training. But years of non-stop training eventually took their toll. One